Former state senator Diane Allen is officially the Republican nominee for lieutenant governor. Republican gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli made the announcement at the Burlington Agricultural Center in Morristown. Allen wasted no time in attacking the current administration.
And that's how Governor Murphy's state of New Jersey is dealing with the people. And it's not just motor vehicle, unemployment. A lot of people weren't able to get their unemployment checks, and they weren't able to get through to somebody to say, help me. Of course, Governor Murphy says he wants to make New Jersey stronger and fairer. Well, then fix the darn system, for heaven's sakes. And if he wants it to be fairer, why is he raising taxes?
The 73-year-old former lawmaker from South Jersey is also a former TV news anchor from Philadelphia. Diane Allen will be joining us on the show next week. Welcome back to Jersey Matters. As you know, there are a whole lot of people that are flat out refusing to get vaccinated for COVID-19. But what if it's a loved one and you're really concerned that that person could get sick? Dr. Ted Brodkin, a nationally recognized doctor of psychiatry and a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, has some suggestions for you.
Doctor, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It has seemed like we've almost come to an impasse in this country where the administration, states, even in families, people are frustrated because those who have decided not to get vaccinated are almost unmovable on the issue. This is an area of expertise for you. Let's go step by step because it's probably different depending on who's doing the talking. How would you counsel a government that wants to get people vaccinated? How would you counsel them in changing their messaging?
I think that they should make the messaging clear, sticking with the evidence and the science, and really explaining what the benefits of being vaccinated are, and not changing around the message as much as they can. I mean, the message has to change a bit as the science evolves, but keeping it clear, keeping it simple.
I would imagine that it's not good to talk down to people, that you need to talk on the same level.
Yes, agreed. I think talking respectfully, talking clearly, explaining it in terms of what they would do for themselves and their own families, I think can be compelling.
Yeah, I've talked to people, so we can get away from government for a second. I've talked to people who are extremely concerned because their son or their daughter or someone they love just doesn't want to get vaccinated for a variety of reasons. I would imagine the conversation is much different in that kind of interpersonal persuasion.
Yes, it is. And, there's a number of people, there's a substantial percentage of people in the country who have chosen to not get vaccinated up until this time. I think there's some variability among them in their feelings about the vaccination and their stance. I think there are some who are probably really completely against it and are going to be hard to convince otherwise. I think there's another group that is what we call vaccine hesitant, that they have mixed feelings. In some ways, they could see the potential benefits of vaccination, but they have concerns, worries that are keeping them from getting vaccinated so far. So I think it's especially productive to be able to have conversations with those who are vaccine hesitant, because I think it could help them clarify what they want to do.
Right. So there's some room to move the numbers. It might be a small percentage. I have no idea, but at least it can move it in the right direction and closer maybe to herd immunity. So what do you suggest? How should people in their own families, in their own circles, be talking to the vaccine hesitant?
Well, I think that an approach that often doesn't work well is to just tell them you need to go get vaccinated, or to just start giving information on all the benefits of vaccination and say, so go get vaccinated, or insist that they get vaccinated. Because when you're talking with someone who has mixed feelings and is ambivalent, when they hear that, when they hear a lecture coming at them, the side of them that has the worries and the concerns and the hesitation usually comes to the fore, and they may feel resistant to the lecture that you're giving them, and they may start to just tune out and not even listen to you anymore. So I think a different kind of approach can be really useful, and I can go into that if you'd like.
Yes,
me to.
please. But what are the steps?
Yeah, so there's an approach. This comes from clinical medicine. It's called motivational interviewing. And this is something that doctors and clinicians do, but other people can use a similar approach with friends and family members. And basically what it involves, rather than lecturing or insisting, it starts with just developing a good dialogue and really asking the other person, so how are you feeling about this whole vaccination thing? Like, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And really just listening in a genuine way to what their thoughts and feelings are. You can also ask them, like, what more information would you want to have about it? Or what concerns do you have about it? And then really listen to them genuinely. Even if what they tell you is different from what you think and feel, try to listen respectfully. And then after doing that, by listening respectfully and taking it seriously, you open up a kind of ability to have a dialogue about this. And then at a certain point, you can say to them, would it be okay with you if I shared some information that I've gotten about the vaccination? So you ask their permission. And if they give you their permission, then they're more likely to actually listen to some things that you have to say. And once you've listened to them, they're also more likely to listen to you. So at that point, if they give their permission, you can share some information that you have about vaccination, and hopefully they will listen. The other thing that you can do, because I've said that they may have mixed feelings about this, is you can ask them to share with you what they see, in addition to their concerns, what do they see as some of the potential upsides of getting vaccinated? And that's going to vary by person, and it's hard to predict. So for some people, it might be, if I got vaccinated, and in some ways that might protect some of my loved ones that I'm around, or I might be in a better position to travel and take that trip I really wanted to take this summer, or whatever it is. And so by having that kind of conversation and exploring with them what they feel like the upsides might be, it might help them to consolidate their own motivation to get vaccinated. But what you're really helping them to do is to develop their own motivation, and you're not imposing on them too harshly, or you're not forcing them. And there's a lot of evidence out there to show that this approach can work better.
Doctor, have you had to do this with anybody that you know?
Most of the people I know, for whatever reason, maybe it's the circles that I travel in, were motivated to get vaccinated. So I haven't had to do this a lot. I have had some patients, though, who were vaccine hesitant, and I've had some friends or acquaintances who were. So this is generally the approach that I will use. Yes.
Has it been successful?
I know in some cases it has. I can't say that I have a lot of statistics on it on my own,
okay.
Experience, but I remember one patient in particular that told me that he was worried about getting vaccinated. He probably wasn't going to get vaccinated. And I used this kind of an approach. And I said, well, what are your concerns about it? And I tried to listen respectfully. And I also explored with him what he thought the upsides could be. And ultimately, he did end up getting vaccinated. I don't know if that it was completely due to me, but hopefully that helped.
No, I think that was important that you passed that along, because you're making me realize that it's not going to be the government that's going to get people to get vaccinated. It's not going to be politicians to get people to get vaccinated. It's going to be friends and family who have a real concern, and they should be armed with the right information. That's correct, right? They should have some reasons other than I just want you to be able to share if the person gives them a permission. That's key, isn't it?
I think it is. I think having some facts at your fingertips and some accurate information can really help. And I agree with what you said before. I mean, I think to get as many people in the country vaccinated as we can, we need a variety of different approaches. Sometimes local respected leaders or healthcare professionals speaking out can help, who are trusted in the community. But I do think like what you said, that there's, the power of connection between friends and family is really important.
Right. And another problem is that everything has become political and we've become so divided. And so as soon as you infuse politics into the conversation, you're lost. But when you infuse caring and you infuse love and you have a connection, that's more powerful, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah. It's become very politicized. And so if you hear someone on TV from a party that you don't tend to vote for saying you should get vaccinated, you might just tune it out. But if it comes from a friend or family member that you've known for years and you trust and you love, and they're saying it out of concern and love for you, then that can have a very strong effect.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Doctor, for talking to us today. I think it was extremely worthwhile. I think people are going to learn something from it. Maybe you'll get some more people vaccinated.
Thanks very much for having me, Larry.
Dr. Ted Brodkin, professor at Penn University. Still to come on Jersey Matters.
I'm Phil Anderson. Coming up on Jersey Matters, Governor Murphy mandates vaccines for all state healthcare workers.